back to Christmas in July. Today we're going to be talking about some Disney cartoons from the 30s. Now the first one we're going to talk about is a Mickey Mouse cartoon. Actually, both the ones we're going to talk about are Mickey Mouse cartoons, but the first one is from 1931, and it's called Mickey's Orphans, I believe.
There's something about the early 30s cartoons that can be unsettling. Some of those cartoons, the person who made them, I'm not talking about Disney necessarily. Of course, Disney did do that. I'm rambling now, the one with the skeletons. Anyway, okay, there's something different about the early 1930s and the 1920s in the era of animation. And this one has it. It brings it. I have a thing with cloaked figures. I would imagine a lot of people do. And at first, when this cloaked figure comes walking along in the winter scene, I was thinking like Minnie, but then it goes into the house and Minnie's there, so it's like, okay, what's this wandering along? And Mickey and Minnie are in a house together, being all Christmassy. She's playing the piano with her patched undies. I'm assuming that the Depression was rolling well along now to have Minnie in patched underwear, with a creepy figure coming up to the house ready to abandon her young. These, you watch the cartoons, you get a little history lesson threading in there. Only there's a catch. To this poor, impoverished mother who leaves a basket on the doorstep, and Pluto dutifully goes out and brings the basket in. And the orphan that comes out is a kitten in a diety with a safety pin. It gets better. It's like already you can start to like this cartoon better now that the creepy figure is gone. Only kittens come pouring out of this basket. Like, there is no way.
Like a swarm of insects.
This is not, you do not watch this for realism. But there's something so cute and great about this horde of kittens. And Mickey and Minnie, in true cartoon logic, are mice larger than these kittens, adopting them, and are not at all afraid of them. They're loving this overwhelming horde that has descended on their house. And Mickey comes in acting like Santa, and all of a sudden all these kittens have saws and fake guns and stuff.
Santa was delivering the wrong kind of present.
Santa had never been a parent. And one of these kittens is like, "Are you Santa?" And is not falling for it. And it shows that the good old days had brats as well. But they're so cute and violent. And I don't know how much harm they meant, but all of a sudden, somewhere in this cartoon, it's like the guns are real, and they are really smashing up this house. And one of them puts a hot coal down Mickey's pants, and then other kittens come along with a fire. Like, where did this fire truck come from? This toy fire truck? I don't know. And they put him out, and because we watch cartoons because they're true to life. No, sometimes. And the kittens, even though they're destroying this house, Mickey and Minnie don't really seem to mind. And behind these curtains is a Christmas tree. And the ravening horde, I don't know if they're ravening, this horde of kittens descends on this tree and leaves it basically a barren twiggy thing, practically. And that's where it ends, and nobody's unhappy. It's cute and wrong and funny and enjoyable, and I don't know if it ends quite the way it should. I think it's an okay thing to watch if you want to watch it. But if you get unsettled by 1930s animation, maybe watch it on an afternoon when you're having your iced coffee instead of at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're like, who is this creepy figure? What's up with these violent kittens in diapers? I just, unless you like that at 2 o'clock in the morning, then I guess.
Some people might.
Some people might, because the longer you spend on the internet at night, the more weird your content becomes.
That's very true.
It's like, oh, I want to know what this video is, even though I have totally better things to do with my time. But yeah, these kittens actually stylistically are rather cute. You could about have a mug or something covered in these kittens, and it would get attention, especially if they had the saws and stuff.
I probably would buy one.
Have a necktie with little kittens in diapers. What? That guy's different. Anyway, in a similar vein, we watched a 1932 Mickey Mouse cartoon called Mickey's Good Deed. Pluto has a rough time in cartoons. Pluto, if people wanted to be overly dramatic, Pluto could have had PTSD. But anyway. But these are cartoons, so you have to allow for savage violence that does not end in death. And this one, it does not involve... Okay, it does involve Mickey dressing up as Santa again. There's Santa in both of these. Mickey starts out playing a cello, trying to get money for food, because I don't know what happened between him and Minnie, but this Christmas he was out in the cold.
Yeah.
He needed food, and Pluto did too. But they can do what they want. And then the rats who were putting money in the cup, they were like screws and stuff.
Nuts, bolts.
Yeah. Of course, 1932, the Depression was definitely, that might have been reaching its zenith. Literally, not just in this cartoon. And it also features a very rich pig family. The butler looks like a dog, but not like Pluto, like this is a humanoid dog, because they can. And there's a father pig and a little boy pig who is not satisfied with anything, and then he decides that he wants the dog. And
if you thought the kittens were brats in the last cartoon, this kid makes the kittens look like sweet little angels.
They're more like naughty but well-meaning, whereas the piglet is a horrible individual.
The kind of kid that even people who don't like spanking your kids will be rooting for the kid to get a spanking by the end.
You may not agree with us on that one, but you haven't seen the cartoons. Like, this little boy
He needs something.
He came from a location which shall not be named. Initially, Mickey isn't going to sell, and he runs off, but Mickey comes across this hovel. This is so funny. Oh my goodness. You look inside of this house. Also, you cannot see the mother's face. She's just like weeping on the table or something. There's a picture of Father on the wall, and it says Father, but it's a prison mugshot with him behind bars or something. It's like, and it's just, the house is totally nasty, and there are all these kittens in the bed, and it's absolutely pitiful.
I am of the opinion that this is the same family from the last cartoon. Sarah, I don't think Sarah agrees with me, but I think it's the same family. Because the mother looks the same, the kittens look the same. We're just getting a little more backstory about why she had decided to abandon them last year.
I don't know. Maybe they took care of them at Christmas time and they went back to the family and things didn't go well. I don't know. Either way, Mama Cat was having a hard time and Papa Tom was off in jail. So, Mickey takes pity on these kittens. Okay. And he decides to sell Pluto, and he says, as long as you give him a good home. Well, Pluto goes to this house, and immediately this son, Piglet, begins abusing Pluto, and the father and the butler, they figure, okay, we've made him happy now, and Mickey doesn't realize. He takes the money, and he goes off and gets things for the kitten cat family, and he goes into the house and discovers that there are way more kittens than he even realized, but he has them covered. He leaves all the bounty and goes on his way. Meanwhile, back at the nice house,
Nice is a figurative term.
Well, the house was nice. The people
inside were not.
The father is still getting horribly harassed, and the dog is getting horribly harassed. And finally, the father finally wants the dog to go. And he rolls up his sleeves and gives the piglet a bare bottom spanking. Whether you're okay with this, if you want to laugh over the justice of the piglet, or if you're not a spanking person, then you're warned. Like, if you don't want to show this to your kids or something and have them see a strange, impoverished 1930s cartoon with a piglet getting a bare bottom spanking. But why wouldn't you want to share that with the world? First, why isn't this a classic? I don't know. Like the stuff we watch. It's like, the 30s was a strange time. Like I say, one of my favorite decades, but sometimes you get kind of a weird feeling. But yeah, the piglet was terrible, and even if you were a nice person, you probably want to biff him one. And I'm assuming that the piglet, after receiving this spanking, did not grow up to stab people. I don't know how much of this review is going to be kept. Either way. And another part after this that we loved, after Pluto is put out in the cold, he goes, I'm assuming, looking for Mickey. Mickey is off by himself with this pathetic campfire roasting a weenie. And he's made a snow version of Pluto. So he's just sitting there with this little fake dog. It's so pitiful. And Pluto comes up underneath the
snow dog.
He comes up underneath the snow dog, and for some reason he has a roast turkey stuck on his tail, like tied to his tail. So when he comes along, Mickey, they all of a sudden have this roast turkey to eat off of, and they're together again, and I guess everybody's happy. Either way, they are. And the kittens are probably very happy, and the mother can clandestinely hawk some of the toys for food so that they can survive. I can't remember whether he brought her food or not.
But that would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I can't remember whether he did that or not. Either way. Oh, another thing that was really random is that there was it a Jack in the Box that was basically Jimmy Durante. So if you wonder what's up with this doll thing, just look up Jimmy Durante. Yeah, this is one of the safer 1930s cartoons that you could watch and
not scar your children.
Minimal illegal activity. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Well, I think that's going to be all for this episode of Christmas in July. We've still got some more Disney cartoons to talk about, so I think that'll be our next episode. So we'll see you then.
Bye.